Hey everybody, HomeSliceHenry here, and in today's video, we are taking a look at a really cool spice pick in the Open Ultra League, XL Level 50 HISUIan Electrode. HISUIan Electrode is a grass and electric type Pokemon with the moveset of Thunder Shock, Wild Charge, and Energy Ball. To round out the team, I am pairing it with two Ice Water types, Lapras and Walrein. So without further ado, let's hop into the matches and take a look at XL Level 50 HISUIan Electrode in action in the Open Ultra League. Hopping to the first match, leading HISUIan Electrode into Blastoise, absolutely fantastic lead. Opponent safe switches into Trevenant. I'm going to respond with Walrein, but unfortunately I was a little slow on my swap, and that is very significant in this matchup. Because if Trevenant does have even the smallest energy lead, it will be able to outpace and reach a second Seed Bomb before I reach my second charge move, and as you can see, they tank the Icicle Spear no problem, so if I want to keep switch advantage, which I definitely do, I unfortunately have to go down a shield. Blastoise comes back in, and we are not baiting, we're going straight for the EQ, trying to get damage or a shield, and we actually grab a shield, which is nice. Opponent is going for the very aggressive Water Gun down, but Water Guns are not doing a lot of damage onto Walrein. We're able to reach a second Earthquake, and that does a nice amount of damage on Blastoise. The downside is, Blastoise is absolutely loaded. I think I tank any one move from full health, so we call it. It is just a Hydro Cannon, then I'm going to work on farming up to 2, there add another move. Ice Beam would probably knock out from here, so I commit the shield, and it ends up being a worthwhile shield as they had Ice Beam, and then the final Pokemon is revealed to be Registeel. I already have 2 Wild Charges loaded, so this should be a pretty comfortable position. I should be able to farm up to 2 more Wild Charges here, so throw in Wild Charge number 2, going for the third Wild Charge, and then switch out to reset the debuff because I believe they should just be short of the Focus Blast here, but they're at a move. I'm like, oh my goodness, did I miscount? Turns out this is an old Registeel. They are running Flash Cannon, which is cheaper than Focus Blast, and I got absolutely finessed. That is unfortunate. We are going for the Surf. Surf will not KO. We are going to have to tank a move, but they should have Focus Blast instead of Zap Cannon, but back in comes the Blastoise. Surf will not KO here, and this Blastoise is probably going to be able to reach a Hydro Cannon. So the question is, can Lapras survive? This is going to be incredibly close. Lapras, able to hold on, going for the Ice Shard down, gets the Ice Shard down. Can it survive the lock-ons? Yes, it can! Lapras with the 1 HP clutch, taking out the Registeel, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading HISUIan Electrode into Giratina, absolute nightmare lead, save switch into Lapras, and we are met with Registeel. Unfortunately, this one is probably going to have Zap Cannon, which is an even worse matchup for Lapras. Because we're forced to go for Surfs, our fast moves are resisted, and on top of that, they're able to debuff our attacks and make them do even less damage thanks to that Zap Cannon. I am going to be going for as many Surfs as they allow me to get to, try and get any and all chip damage, because I need to try and put this into Wild Charge range. Wild Charge does not do over 50%, so seeing it get into the yellow is very, very good. So the plan here is I'm basically just going to use HISUIan Electrode as a meat shield at this point, because, to be honest, it doesn't have a lot of play with Giratina on the field, so I'm just going to tank this. We are going to farm up to back-to-back Wild Charges and basically hope that that energy will be useful later on in the match. So I am going to farm up a ton, and then we're going for the Wild Charge. This should grab the KO. I accidentally missed some bubbles, still enough to KO. In comes Walrein, and the final Pokemon is revealed to be Empoleon. Empoleon is not a Pokemon you see a lot of anymore, specifically because it gets absolutely destroyed by Walrein. We are not baiting. We're going straight for the Earthquake. We'll see if they respect it. They do not, and that almost takes out Empoleon. Thankfully, now that I landed the Earthquake, I can go straight Icicle Spear. So I am going to go for the Icicle Spear. We're able to grab a shield. They are wanting to keep that Empoleon alive. I'm pretty sure Drill Peck will do more than any move from Giratina. So I am going to commit the shield, work on getting it low, go for the Snipe, and we're able to Thunder Shock it down. Now, the plan is to try and get this Giratina into Icicle Spear range. Going for the Wild Charge, going for Wild Charge number 2, and this should be getting them close to half health. It is resisted damage, able to get them below half, and we have a lot of energy on the Walrein. Walrein should be able to tank the move here, but this is going to be very close. Can we get to the back-to-back? Walrein able to get there, and so long as they don't have a move right now, this should be a good game. We get the shield, we're trying to click, it lags a bunch, they get free moves, but we are finally able to get the Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear takes out the Giratina, and that's a good game. Picking up a great lead in the next match, HISUIAN Electrode into Jellicent, and then the opponent safe switches into Sylveon. This has me immediately thinking that it could be Jellicent Double Charm, so I do go for the Wild Charge to either get chip damage or shield advantage. We're able to get shield advantage, and then we're going to bring in Walrein. Walrein is exceedingly tanky, so we are going to be able to absorb these charms a lot better than on the Electrode. Since I did commit a shield, I'm more than willing to match shields here, just so I can dictate switch advantage, because I absolutely cannot have the Jellicent aligned against my Lapras. So I am going to throw here, just so that way if they want to try and make a play for switch, they have to commit their second shield, but they decide not to, and then they bring back in the Jellicent. Jellicent farming up, they are just able to reach a move one turn before I get my Earthquake, and Shadow Ball will take me out. I'm going to bring back in the HISUIAN Electrode, and it is what we expected. It is Clefable in the back. So I am going for the Wild Charge, expecting to grab the shield, which we do, and now it is Lapras time. I'm not going to shield this Lapras whatsoever. The plan is to do as much damage as possible, and then I should hopefully be able to farm it down with the HISUIAN Electrode, because I should be able to reach a second Surf. They go for the Meteor Mash. Meteor Mash gets me low. Lapras is very bulky, able to tank the move and the charms to reach that second Surf. Surf gets them very low. Back in comes the HISUIAN Electrode. HISUIAN Electrode is going to be able to Thunder Shock down, and back in comes the Jellicent. But with the shield, we are comfortably able to farm up to the back-to-back Wild Charges. First one almost knocks out the Jellicent. Second one is going to do the trick, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading HISUIAN Electrode into Shadow Walrein. Unfortunately, this is not a great lead, but I will be staying in, but the opponent actually ends up switching out themselves as they safe switch into Escavalier. Unfortunately, neither of my back Pokemon have great matchups, so I am going to stay in, commit the shield on the neutral drill run, and then farm up to 100 energy. This way I can fire off the back-to-back Wild Charges and either grab both shields or do a significant amount of damage in the meantime. Going for Wild Charge number 2, I am hoping that it lands, which it does, and then I'm able to bring in the Lapras to soak that energy. Lapras tanks that drill run no problem, able to Ice Shard down, but the one downside is now back in comes that Shadow Walrein, and since I do not have Skull Bash, this is a very poor matchup for Lapras. So I am going to go for the Surfs, spamming out as many as I can, but as you see, Surf does not do a lot of damage onto that Walrein, which is very unfortunate. Going for yet another Surf, but this Walrein is very clearly farming up to 100 energy. And with that big of an energy lead, I can't bring back in the HISUIAN Electrode. So I'm going to bring in my own Walrein, and the opponent blind threw an Icicle Spear, thinking I was bringing in the Electrode. Let's go. My Walrein does win a lot of CMP ties, so since I snuck, I overfarm by 1, so I can throw on the CMP ties. So that way, if they decide to let it through, I will be able to take them out. And here, I honestly make a mistake. I should have shielded this move because now I don't have a lot of HP remaining. I switch in the Electrode, but I didn't switch in right away. So I have to burn the shield as well. And what looked promising is not looking promising whatsoever. Now I'm going for the Wild Charge to get the KO, but I have a pretty low health Walrein, a very low Electrode. They have Sylveon in the back, and I threw away a perfectly winnable match. Picking up a pretty neutral lead in the next match, HISUIAN Electrode into Cresselia. Cresselia throws just 6 Psycho Cuts, so this is only a Grass Knot. They may not be aware of HISUIAN Electrode's typings, but then they save switch into Obstagoon. This is really bad for my backline, so I'm going to go for the back-to-back Wild Charges, able to grab a shield, but then I'm really hoping that this lands because I need this damage. Second Wild Charge does land, and then I'm going to bring in Walrein. Unfortunately, I will have to tank a move. I hope that they don't have Cross Chop, but of course they have Cross Chop. At the very least, Cross Chop can't boost. They're still not in Icicle Spear range yet, so I do overfarm. They go for a second cross chop, and then I am going to be throwing my Icicle Spear. This will not KO, but it is going to be getting them rather low. I didn't think I was going to be able to farm down. It looked like it was going to be a simultaneous KO, so instead I opt to go for the Icicle Spear just so I can guarantee switch advantage. Back in comes Cresselia, and Cresselia is looking for a very aggressive Psycho Cut farm down. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to reach 2 moves. I go for the Icicle Spear, but I do get farmed down. And this is a little rough because I don't have a lot of energy on the HISUIan Electrode. I decide to commit the shield just because Moonblast would do a solid chunk of my health, and then they have quite a bit of energy stored up, so I am going to commit the second shield as well. So we are definitely trying to protect the HISUIan Electrode. I am going to farm up till very close to the back-to-back. The goal will be hopefully to try and get off the back-to-back wild charges. First one lands, we're able to get off the second one, and then we are going to be looking to potentially swap. Going for the swap, Cresselia throws the move, and we're able to catch it onto the Lapras. Moonblast, we're totally fine tanking that. What do they have in back? And they have Talonflame. I'm going straight for the Surf before they can get to a move. This will do a nice amount of damage. They farm up to 4, and the question is, do they Brave Bird? I do live a Flame Charge. They go for the Brave Bird. Can I kill it in 5 Thunder Shocks? This is going to be very close. We are able to kill it in 5 Thunder Shocks, and we are able to get the Wild Charge. Wild Charge is going to be taking out that Cresselia, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading HISUIan Electrode into Obstagoon. Pretty neutral lead overall, and I'm definitely glad to see it here versus my 2 ice types in the back. We do go for the extra, and we're able to get it, which is very nice. We tank the Night Slash. Thankfully, they do not boost. Very, very happy to see that. And then we are going to be going for the back-to-back Wild Charges. First one does massive damage onto the Obstagoon, and this second one is going to be taking them out unless they decide to commit the shield. Wild Charge does get the shield, and then I'm going to bring in Wall Rain to reset that defense debuff. Obstagoon, unfortunately, does have Cross Chop. It would be CMP if I threw here, so I actually decide to not throw and go for the extra, which I'm able to get. I will commit the shield to preserve some health, farm up just a little bit, and then I am going to be going for the Icicle Spear to grab the knockout. Obstagoon goes down. What do they have in back? And they have Primarina in the back. And I'm very happy it's Primarina and not any other Charmer, because Primarina is glassy enough to the point where they need to shield the Earthquake. And also, this will get one-shot by a Wild Charge. I bring in HISUIan Electrode. They have Charizard in the back, but I bank the Wild Charge for later. Now we have the ability to one-shot the Primarina. We bring in Lapras, and Lapras tanks Blast Burns, no problem. And now we're going to be going for the Surf. This will do big damage onto that Charizard, getting it very low. Lapras able to farm down, and this game, if it wasn't already, is now over. We're just going to spam out the Surfs to do extra chip damage, may as well, but honestly, we have that Wild Charge banked and a shield, so we are in a very comfortable position, as this Wild Charge is more than enough to take care of that Primarina, and that is a good game. Hopping to the next match, leading HISUIan Electrode into Melmetal. This is definitely not a Pokemon I want to see in the back, so I am going to be staying in and trying to play out this lead. I'm not going to shield the first, because to damage this Pokemon, I have to lower my defense with Wild Charge, so I want to let that first move through, and then, after I debuff myself, then I am going to start committing shields. Going for the Wild Charge, that does big damage onto the Melmetal, my goodness. But now, I am going to have to start shielding as I have debuffed myself. I do always want to have some residual energy in this match, so I farm up very close to the back-to-back, go for the Wild Charge, and now we're only one off yet another Wild Charge. And this should be grabbing that final shield, which is very nice. They are overfarming quite a bit, and we're able to sneak through. I believe because we snuck the Thundershock, we should be able to get this last Wild Charge, which we are. That's going to be taking out the Melmetal, and we are very debuffed, but we have successfully won lead. The question is, what do they have in back? They have Clefable, and I'm going to bring in Lapras. And the opponent is not switching out, which is hopefully a good sign. I'm going to be going for the Surf, just trying to do as much damage as possible to this Clefable while it's in. But XL Clefable is very bulky, so it is going to be able to survive 2 Surfs no problem. They go for the Meteor Mash. That does get me quite low, but I will be able to fire back with this second Surf. This Surf does get Clefable deep into the red. Clefable banks for later, and there's a Swampert in the back. I'm going to be going for the Surf. Surf will do some solid chip damage, but Swampert is able to Mudshot down, and now in comes Walrein. And Swampert is going to be going for the Earthquake. Earthquake does big damage onto the Walrein, and this is going to be a little tough because that Swampert does have a decent amount of energy. Going for the Icicle Spear. Icicle Spear gets them low. I switch into the Electrode, and we're able to catch. They only ended up going for the Hydro Cannon, but we're able to catch. Electrode able to Thundershock down. We have the Wild Charge loaded for the Clefable. Hisuian Electrode able to secure the knockout, and that is a good game. All in all, I did have quite a bit of fun running XL level 50 Hisuian Electrode. I'll be honest, it's not a great Pokemon for the Open Ultra League. Basically, most of the main meta mons, like Giratina, Nidoqueen, Galarian Stunfisk, Trevenant, it's going to really struggle against. So honestly, it's a very cool spice pick in theory, but in practice, it would probably be better suited to an Ultra League Premier Cup where XLs are allowed. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you're enjoying the content, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And a special thank you, as always, to our members here on YouTube. The support you guys provide is absolutely incredible. So thank you guys oh so very much. And until next time, I've been HomeSliceHenry.